But now Saturn starts coming in. Saturn's coming in 2019. One thing, Saturn squares Venus, February, March, right ahead of us. And if he starts feeding it in January, that's quite possible. I've written down these are 1 degree orbs, so that's within 1 degree. If it's 1.5 degree, some people could still be very reactive to it for a little bit longer than these. But I'm looking at the core thing, so I know if I'm talking in these areas, they know what's going on in the time, that this is happening at that time. If they're saying nothing's happening, I'll look at them, I'll question it, and I'll have to go deeper into what they're saying to see what level it's happening on, because this is going on. So Saturn right now, he's just coming to Saturn square Venus. That's the depression Saturn, the worry Saturn, the series of Saturn of being older, not so handsome, not so beautiful, not having so much money. There's a feeling of one's self-worth is challenged. Well, really, his self-worth has been pulverized for the last 2 years. Now Saturn's thinking, well, is this where I am? What can I do? It's not an enchanting time. Even in the mental enchantment span, there's some real things I got to take care of. This is the voice of Saturn. It's not as harsh as Pluto, but there is some practical Saturnian work to done. There's going to be, it always shows first as a restriction. So money is going to be tight for him, February, March, June, July, and November, December of this year. Okay. Emotions will be tight. He'll be serious. He'll have to work harder. He'll have to work and be busy to make ends meet, to make the money. But this is not a Pluto necessity. This is something, it just means he has to budget, and he might have to work a little harder or make a stronger effort or commitment and be a little more practical he might have to do, suppose he's not working, but he's been studying and not working and just can't maintain it. He might have to take some kind of job just to get past these difficult things, and it may not be what he wants. He may have to compromise how much he's going to make from astrology or psychology or theology, how much he's going to make for all the things he knows. And he might be forced to take a practical, something that's a second job or something on the side, or something that's a backup that would take care of the financial crunch this year. Okay, Saturn to Venus, it's the point of you're redefining your finances and emotions. You're trying to get control. You're trying to get a plan. You're trying to work with it. It's serious. It's not frivolous, but you're still going to feel, I don't have enough money to buy this computer or go as big as you want. You have to make do. You have to do it simple. You have to work with it. Sometimes a financial commitment came, but he's not going to want to make a big financial commitment just on the heels of what he came out of. He wants to navigate and get some money in. So while the tightness is Saturn to Venus, when you're restrictive around money, you're also restrictive around love. You're worried about money. When someone's in love, they throw money around like it's nothing. Don't think about it, and it just tracks it. It comes back. But when you start worrying about love or worrying about money, both areas get a little restricted. So he's redefining his values. What do I really want? I'm older now. This is still, he's past his midlife. Saturn's down in Capricorn, squaring his Venus, is moving down to the IC. He's moving away from his midheaven and career status, but he still has some necessity. He still has to get some money to get through, to get by things. He's still supposed to keep studying and learning, but here we have Saturn square Venus for this year. So the Saturn squaring the Venus, this is the puzzle. You look at his chart, his 6th house, work and health. If he's not doing anything, he's going to be emotionally depressed. It's forcing him to look at this anxiety and not allow himself to be more unstable. He's got to compensate and not deal with anxiety. He's got to make things a little more stable. It's going to take some serious effort, some commitment, some time to do this. So, he could be working to try and do the astrology, and this is trying to pay to get some advertisement, get the word out more, so he can be doing it. That's part of it, but he's not going to get as much money as he would expect or as he would want. There's restrictions on it while this is going on. So it's possible he might have to take some energy, some effort, and get a part-time or a job someplace else that's bringing in some regular cash, and do the astrology on the weekends or on other hours. Ideal means he would be busy, and at the same time, he may think, if he was thinking with his astrology, he might think, well, I should start charging this much, and he may not get that many clients. If he's charging $100 a session, he might not get that many clients. If he brought it down to half price at $50 a session, he'd get twice as many people coming in. He's not making as much work. He's learning more, but he's getting more people and building a bigger foundation. And many of those people will come back to him over time. Okay, but so this is some of the puzzles of the Saturn coming onto the Venus restrictions, and it's square. It's not coming onto. It's squaring it from. Really, it's from the third house, but it's been in the second house. Third has got to figure it away. So you could say maybe he could start teaching a bit of astrology or teaching some things, and that might pull in some extra income. It's going to take extra effort to get the income. Doesn't mean he can't get it. This could be successful, but it means it's going to take effort. He's going to be working hard and budgeting things. He's going to be serious about these things. It's in the long term, it's long overdue because he wasn't serious enough before and the family messed up his money and he's got to be serious enough so that doesn't happen again. He's got to have his control over things. So because it's tight, there's no room for splurge spending through 2019. There's no room for the glamorous things. His mind has been opened up and ready for glamorous things, but his reality is, oh, I got to be positive. I got to take care of this, take care of this. He's been taking care of this for the last 2 years anyways, but it's been more on the edge. It's not as difficult as the last couple of years. It's a lot easier. It's just stabilizing it. So it could be adding a job. It could be cutting down your prices so you can work harder and get things. But it's certainly effort, and he's redefining his emotions. He's redefining, I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do that. I just want to concentrate that. But if you're going to concentrate just spiritual things and not work, you're going to live a monk's life and a austere life with less and less money. I don't think that's where he's going. I think he's resolving that conflict and having to resolve that pressure and make commitments, Saturn, to deal with his lack of resources steadily over this year, which means putting out effort to pull a little bit more money in here, a little bit of money to get it. He's the Pisces to get it from a few different places, to do a few different things. Now, an interesting thing is Saturn square Venus, it's restricting the emotions and the values, but it could be a time where someone decides to put an album together, put some music or put something together, and he's working Saturn on the Venus, on the talents. He's still not going to be respected that clearly, but it might pull the little things could pull in practice. The consistent effort could force 3 works out of him that improve, that each little by little improve. If they don't improve the finances, they would improve his emotional state and situations, and eventually that'll improve his confidence. I think probably family members are still trying to use up his money or push it as far as they can, and he's trying to hold that together, and it's costing him, and he's limited to how much he can do. So he has Uranus square his moon. Now Saturn's squaring the Venus after Pluto was, and in 2020, Saturn opposes the moon. So again, Saturn opposes the moon is restrictions around home, around family, around feelings. It's feeling, it could be health. You could say if this is diet and nutrition oriented, that could be the Venus, but I think it's finances and the restrictions to the home is the limits of family. So even if he has his house, you don't know if family members are staying with him or if he's still carrying people. If he is, it's too much of a cost for him to carry. He's going to have to get more serious than he wants to be for 2 years. He's got to keep it marginal, basic, take care of what he has to take care of. There's going to be pressure emotion. There's going to be restrictions coming as Saturn hits the moon in 2020. It's going to be restricting. That's coming from home and family. And he's going to have to be more conservative in his approach than his just ideal philosophy. He's seeing the conservative things of where he's living in the family, where it is. Okay, so Saturn's where the work is. It's not an enemy, it's a friend. By taking care of these things, by working and making do simply and just doing what you can and making the effort to pull in a bit extra money and putting the extra time in to get that. Even if it means working for someone that's not paying as much as you should, but you can do it. That's Saturn to Venus. When it gets to the moon, it's pressure around the home and family, around his home, his lifestyle. You would encourage him to maintain his home, not to let it go, because it's Sun in the 4th house. It's worth fighting for. But to have her, who's living there, what's take care of mom. Mom could get sick. Somebody in the family could have troubles, and there's pressure on him to help the family more. And he's already let go, and he's trying to be more distant, to have his own world. But while this is going on, it's not likely that another relationship is going to come in. Not a romantic relationship. It's more likely there's family things still, family karmic still to deal with. Now, once Saturn gets through 2020, it starts going to 2021, and then Saturn will square the ascendant, which just means personal seriousness, and square the Mars, a bit more effort. I have to work at this more. So really, for the next 3 years, he's got to work harder at doing the things. He can't be laid back and just studying so much. He's got to put some of what he knows to practice and work at this. It's effort. It's not going to be glamorous. He's not going to make big breakthroughs, but he's going to be consistently building up the disciplines and building up the muscles and the habits to survive through this, to get through this.